Last week on the official Byte Club podcast.
When in doubt, just record everything. That's a safe bet. Grace.
Some people have leftovers for a week. I have turkey leading up to Thanksgiving. Did I stop it right there?
So just at the moment when you were about to convert into turkey, it stopped, and therefore you haven't violated the "thou shalt not eat each other." Grace.
Why you don't say grace? Do you have an elaborate grace, like a 5-minute grace that you say? Is it a set piece? You guys all take on roles? Like, why don't you want to talk about this?
Grace. Maybe we're not really hiding. Did you ever think of that?
Ooh,
maybe we're into. Yes, exactly. Maybe we're interdimensional. We can shift in and out. So, I'm actually there, in the woods, standing right next to you, but you just can't see me.
So he shifts in, says grace, and then shifts out.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. Grace.
And on Sunday, November 21st, this one's for Case. Dick's Sporting Goods. Why are we whispering?
Why you go to Dick's?
Grace. Okay, so we time travel. Why in the hell would we go back to 1820 and of all places, Regency Britain? I got 8 liter.
Last week on the official Byte Club podcast.
When in doubt, just record everything.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Byte Club podcast. You guys can hear me okay now, I take it?
What?
Oh, here we go. Is it
Where'd he go?
Is it better now?
What?
Is it less
What?
tinny? For the sake of
I
the
hear
listener?
you. I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, all right. Let's move right into it. State of the pod.
Oh, here we go again.
He still makes pizza.
I am a pizza maker.
So where do we stand this week? What's changed in a week? Not just about the podcast, but also us as a pod, like the dolphins that I have in the picture.
You made a lot more pizza,
Yes, that's true. A lot of
and
pizza, yeah.
we as a group appreciate that.
I don't think you care. I know, Jerry. I'm sorry, Claudius.
Who?
You ate turkey all the way up until Thanksgiving, right? How was that?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
None afterwards.
Yeah, you got no leftovers.
Sworn off it.
What did you do the day of?
Ate everything that was left.
So you just had what? Potatoes, stuffing, what?
Oh, all the fixins, yeah.
Just
Still
no
got
turkey. Just
Still
no
got
turkey.
Fixins left over. Still no more turkey, no.
Just no turkey, right?
Yeah.
Because you cooked that a week in advance.
Exactly.
And ate
When
it.
do you cook the stuffings?
day
The
of.
fixings?
Day before.
Yeah, it's
Day
only-
before.
Yep.
It's only turkey that he eats running up to it.
Just a pure week of turkey. And then a week of fixins after that.
Yeah. That sounds bizarre to me still. I can't get over it. I was talking to somebody about that, and it was like just really, they agreed. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Be a gassy little fellow that week.
Hey, you do your way, I do my way.
What about you, Clark? Did you manage to say grace? Grace!
Yes, I did.
That's good. Grace was said in my presence as well. I didn't partake in it, but it was said.
What did you do? Did you poo-poo them and protest it or what?
I just sat there quietly and let everyone say grace around me and do their fancy, finger rituals.
That could mean a lot of things. I guess they all flipped each other off at the table. I don't know.
It's a family tradition.
Yeah, it's a family tradition, and there were
That has happened at some of our family get-togethers. That is true.
Hey, there you go. How you doing today?
No, I was talking about like the touching of the forehead, the touching of the crotch, whatever that thing is that you guys do.
Jeez, what's going on at that Thanksgiving?
Giving a lot of thanks. That's what.
Wow. I'll say that's quite the. Got a little bit more than I asked
Clark,
for.
you and I went to see Nuns on the Run really high. Remember that? They did a
Yes.
whole, what was it? Pocket watch. What was that?
Best spectacles, testicles, wallet watch.
Yeah, there you go. We thought that movie was fucking hilarious.
It was.
Nobody else in the theater laughed at all.
Well,
They-
they couldn't hear from the rolling beer bottles that were.
Yeah, that's true. We smoked in some beer bottles.
Thank
Oh,
God
those
the
are
theater
days.
wasn't that. It was the middle of the day, so there wasn't too many people there.
That's true.
so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember walking out there in bright sunlight and being like, I
Yeah,
never watched that
you know.
movie again, but I'm pretty sure it sucks.
Hey, we don't know for sure. We should check it out. Maybe it's even better when we're sober.
Heck,
Next
yeah,
week we review Nuns on the Run.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
That's an excellent idea.
All right, let's
In
do
real
it. Yeah,
time.
let's do it. Maybe we should do like a running commentary for it. Like an audio commentary.
Oh, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound like
Why,
Oh,
that's
that
over the
sounds-
line.
Sounds perfect.
I don't know about that. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we'll work up to that. You know what I mean? I don't want to like push.
You don't have to drink as much this time as you did the last time.
It
wasn't-
smoke.
It really wasn't drink, but
Yeah. Well, we did find those. We did find that with that stuff we wrote when we were really high together, Clark.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we could kind of translate that on a future episode. You know what I mean?
That was I don't even know if it can be translated. Some of that, the beginning, yeah, but
That's
as it
what I
just
mean,
went further, just
Yeah.
went really, it's illegible. I mean,
Yeah, it's nuts. It's kind of crazy. It's like you could see the natural breakdown there. It's like 3 pages front and back, but you can see where it just like it breaks down.
I just remember one word from that really was just burned into my head, though. The bellower.
yeah,
The bellower.
yeah. Someone who bellows.
And you have a knack for using and finding those words that just stick.
Well, I think that's a compliment.
It is a compliment, but I'm just saying, you just,
You made it sound so like not a compliment. Though,
I
like
know, but I mean, I just,
You have
I
a
don't know
knack.
what it is. You
A
can take
knack
a word
for
and just,
finding these
a
words.
simple word like bellow, and turn it into a superhero, bellower. He's a bellower. The bellower, like.
I don't know if that's a superhero or like somebody.
Does he
could
bellow
be-
grace?
Maybe.
All right, is that the state of the pod? I mean, is this? Have we touched on that at all? Really?
I don't think so. I think we skirted all the way around it.
Everyone have a good Thanksgiving.
All right, the state of the pod is this. We've made it to what? What episode is
Episode
this?
9. It's episode 9.
Episode 9.
9.
Episode
So we have to
9.
remember the lost episodes.
Let's take a moment of silence for the
By the
last
way, send us your
episode.
email address, and when the box set becomes available, you'll have first dibs on it.
Don't make any promises you can't keep.
Well, you never know. We might be able to dig them up somewhere. I mean, they are lost episodes. Look at the BBC.
We could redo them. We could definitely redo them. Like
Every 15 years, they found lost episodes of Doctor Who. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're still finding it, and now they're animating the ones that are definitely lost. Anyway, it's not the state of Doctor Who. This is the state of the pod.
Just move right on. Just push him off to the side. We're not pushing him. We're not getting any type of subsidies from the BBC.
Yeah, exactly.
Why should we push them? No plugs here.
Did you guys? Maybe we should save this for the amazing segment. Did you guys watch the Get Back, the Beatles Get Back documentary? That Peter
No.
Jackson. It was 8.5 hours, just like slightly shorter than Lord of the Rings.
No. I've seen many commercials for it,
Oh, you have, yeah.
and I'm quite certain you watched it
I definitely watched it. Yeah,
for 8 hours.
I watched all 8 hours. Yes, I did. Well, it's 2.5 hours a day, something like that.
That's dedication.
That's manageable.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was like a mini series then. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it was spread out over 3 nights. It's like between 2 and 3 hours each episode.
And your point was that was amazing? Is that what you were starting off with?
Well, I think it's pretty amazing that 50 years later, they're finally finishing this thing. It's like started 50 years ago.
For those of us who are aware of that, I have no idea what it was. I just saw Peter Jackson.
Well, that's
you know.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess you wouldn't know, right? You just see a commercial with the Beatles, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they made they what they did was they created this. They wanted to document them creating an album from scratch.
Okay. Got
So
it.
they turned on the cameras, but the trouble is they didn't have anything prepared. Obviously, that was the point of it. So when they got in there, it was like they were just wasted days, like doing nothing, getting nothing done, wasting a lot of money for the time, and like getting no songs. You know,
Kind of like this podcast.
kind of like this podcast, exactly. Yeah. And we improve it a little bit each day. You know, each week we
Mhm.
improve it just a little bit.
Yes, but we're not wasting a lot of money.
No, it's...
No, it's just a lot of time.
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty amazing that they finally were able to go back and go through like it was like something like 100 and some hours of footage, and then just make some sort of narrative out of it. After 50 years.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you're a big time Hollywood movie director and you have millions of dollars to spare and time on your hands. You could go through stuff like that. Yeah.
Have you seen his World War One documentary, "They Shall Not Grow Old"?
Yes, that was really good. Yeah,
That was truly amazing.
yeah, that was amazing. The footage was amazing too. Yeah,
Because
sure.
the cameras they would use at the time, they would hand crank them.
Yeah.
So that the film would always have a different speed depending on who was cranking it, or may start off faster and slow down as they were going on. And they found a way to try to bring everything to the same speed.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And this was by Peter Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was his last one, right? His last thing, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you think this movie took like 2 years for him to make,
Yeah.
Is that 8 hours as well, Jerry?
Sure.
Claudius?
No, it's short.
Oh.
It's short.
No, that was probably only like 2 hours.
I don't think they don't have nearly as much footage, obviously,
Well, I'm sure there's a lot they left on the floor, but they even went so far as getting people that could read lips to read the lips of the people in the films.
Yeah, I did. I remember seeing that. Yeah, I thought that was
And
really
put a
interesting.
voice to them.
Well, you know what he did with this one? When John and George Harrison were trying to talk, they didn't want the cameras picking it up, so they would play their instruments over it, so that they could only hear each other. The cameras would only hear the instruments, but they used AI to cancel out the instruments.
Oh,
Those
wow.
instruments, so they could hear the people talking again. It's a very similar thing, right? It's similar to what they did there.
So was there a lot of problematic things they said?
Well, I mean, I guess they just left it out of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 2 of them are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of drug references, stuff like that. Peter Sellers stops by. Because he was making a Magic Christian with Ringo Starr. I don't know. It was
gotta
nice. Wow.
Check Twitch here. I want to make sure I'm watching the right podcast.
Is something wrong? What do you mean?
This is coherent. I mean, it's
Fridge.
All right, let's move on to the game segment. The game segment. All right, who's got a game this week?
obviously you don't.
You guys poo-pooed the time travel game, so
Oh no.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
It was just we didn't understand it.
I fucked up. I fucked it up because I was not supposed to tell you what the characters were until you picked the dress, the mode of dress. I wasn't supposed to tell you, so that really screwed up.
That really would have made a difference.
I don't think that
Claudius.
would have saved it.
I might not have
You don't
saved
think so,
it.
Claudius?
Might
I
not
mean,
have
I think
saved
it would have been a world of difference. We would have the pleasure that would have been derived from that.
We could have gone viral with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that. It
The
would have been
joy
a little more
involved there.
challenging. Let's put it that way. The second round was way too easy because I'd given it away for you guys already.
So we're not going to return to that.
We will, but I wanted to give you a break since you guys both.
Are we
hate
stuck
it.
in wherever England for the time being, or
Yeah,
what?
you're stuck in Regency, England. Yeah, around 1820. We'll get back to time travel the game. It takes a little bit for me to set it up too. It's not.
Time
I
travel.
finished my
You've got
novel writing book.
You have more important things to do.
I did, yeah, but I finished it in November novel writing month book. So I got.
Well, now there's
50,000
December
words done
novel
for it.
writing.
No, it's not in November. I started working on the third
December
draft of
poetry?
the nonfiction book in December. Go
What?
back to that. The nonfiction book I'm getting back to in December.
Short stories about snowflakes.
Which
I hear
game
that.
Which game are we doing? You want to do one of the games we already did?
Always being cautious
Oh, here we go. He's already started.
Dragons endure fire. Honestly.
I thought there was you're only supposed to do like 3 letters.
No, you can do as many as you want, as long as you can carry it on.
If justice kills, listen.
Oh, wonderful.
For those at home, for our viewer, we're playing the I guess what Claudius calls the word
The
game.
alphabet game.
Many nuns operate proficiently.
Wow.
Period.
Queen Regina stopped the universe volitionally.
I'm being told I skipped G. I'm being told I skipped G, so I think that means I lost the game.
Oh, yeah, I guess we lost that one if we missed G.
Ah,
I think that was on me though, right? Because I think you ended with, what did you end with?
Fire. Yeah,
I skipped G.
Okay.
Did I? I thought I started with if. Maybe I skipped both G and H.
Right away, maybe that was me. Oh, that's right. I said fire, honestly. Oh.
All right, yeah, you fucked up. You
All right,
lost that
all
round.
right.
All right, that's good. I mean, it's good to have an early loser. I mean, not saying you're a loser, necessarily.
No.
who won?
Well, Jerry's eliminated.
We all lost.
I guess we all lost.
When one of us loses, we all lose.
In other words, Jerry lost.
I never win anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we scored that game. I don't remember how we scored it last time.
Well, we're all working together like this podcast. Working together for victory. Someday we're going to get the whole
It
alphabet.
sounds like a millennial thing. We have to have a winner and a loser for the game time thing. You know what I mean?
Hey, we have to appeal to all audiences, not just the grumpy old men.
I say we give Claudius a participation trophy. What do you think, Clark?
Hooray! Huzzah!
You and I will vie for second and first place. He gets a participation trophy.
Oh, like a parting gift.
Yeah, exactly.
What did we get?
Well, the game's not over yet, right? It's only the first round. Yeah.
Right.
But he's already gotten a parting gift?
Yeah, he's eliminated basically.
So it's just you and I?
Yeah.
I've got this.
I've already forgotten the rules of this. So.
Me too. They don't even have rules.
Very loosely based rules.
All right, well, let's move on. We'll come back to that segment in the next thing. Now, you want to do Jamie Saves the World, or do you want to do ASMR next? What do you guys think?
I just want to make it known I haven't taken my Xanax tonight, so.
All right, moving on to Jamie Saves the World. You drop a few of those off at my doorstep would be nice too, Claudius. Clark. All right.
Whoever.
Drop Doritos off on my doorstep. What?
Some of those Xannies. All right. I want to take a step backwards here with the Jamie Saves the World segment, in which we try to save the world, and of course, before we save the world, we have to come up with a new society to replace this one. Otherwise, it's going to be
No,
chaos.
I think saving the world is the most important thing. It's like if you don't have the rocket to, move the asteroid out of the way, but we have a new economy worked out.
You're right. We haven't figured out how we're going to stop it from annihilating
Yeah,
life.
yes, that's the pretense to what you guys are saying. You're saying
they'll figure that out.
We're in the process of destroying the world now. We need to save it now. We don't have to wait for an asteroid to come. We need to save the world now. It's gonna be destroyed. There's no asteroid necessary for this scenario. We have to save
They're
it now.
They're deflecting one right now as we speak.
You what?
They're deflecting one now. They sent up a rocket.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. We need to save the world as it is. We don't have to. There's no catastrophe we need to wait for.
Well, they consider it done then. I mean, as far as NASA's concerned, they're like, all right, we did it. It's over. We saved the world.
So wait, it's
Now we
already
gotta leave
saved?
it to
We
these-
don't have to do anything else
Right.
now.
We could leave it to these 3 loons to ruin the world.
Jamie's the one that said that we should be saving the world in this podcast, so we're doing what he says. He thinks we should save the world, and we're going to. But we need to have something to replace it with so that when we save it, it won't be just another dictator that comes in. You know what I mean? Like after the French Revolution, you know, what happened? Utter chaos. Things were worse. So I want to
Because apparently they didn't have a tribunal like us to, you know,
they didn't
determine what should take place, you know.
after.
All right, so listen, if we go around lopping people's heads off,
Yeah.
what's the end result going to be? You know, I mean, we got to figure this out before we do that, but
Exactly.
maybe we shouldn't. Let's just do it anyway.
Who should we let eat cake and who should we not let eat cake?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that leads us right to our. That's a great question. That is the basis of our replacement system. Who should eat cake? That is the question we're asking here. There's indisputable that there will be cake in our utopia. People will be able to eat better stuff. You know, we don't want communism, right? So there'll be different tiers. We want to keep all that. So I just want to suggest a couple baseline things for our new utopia that we can all agree on. I know it's going to be difficult to get a real
Chocolate.
answer out of Claudius.
Chocolate's definitely on top of the
Claudius is
list.
just going to make everything a joke. Thank you for trying. I know that, so we'll use him as the loony second. We'll have to make sure the loons in society are kept happy.
Give them chocolate. Just give them chocolate.
Chocolate cake.
That'll keep them happy.
Top of the cake list.
Rule number 1.
Where does carrot cake fall in this list?
Yeah, no vegetable cakes. Why would you make anything out of vegetables? No cake should be made out of
It's a
vegetables.
good cake.
I love carrot cake.
The vegetable cake. Look at the children. No kids like carrot.
Is the world truly saved if there's no carrot cake?
There will be carrot cakes, but not everyone should have to eat it for holidays. I shouldn't have to see it if I don't want to. I see.
What do you mean I should have to? Are we forcing people to eat cake now?
Well, I mean, if the only cakes you have are vegetable cakes, then I feel like I'm being forced into
And
a choice.
why only
Vegetable
for the
cakes.
holidays? Carrot cake is good for all year round.
Apparently not for some of us.
Let's not
I
get
guess
hung
not.
up on the different types of
Well,
cakes.
apparently under his new system, cakes are going to be tied only to holidays.
Yeah, that's right. We can't have anything in between.
Rule
Looks
number
like
1.
birthdays are a real bummer now. No cake there.
Well, it's even worse if you're forced to eat vegetable cakes. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to the different types of cakes.
Put a pin in it. Put a little pin in it. This big board we have here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's rule number 1 in our new utopia. This society that we're building here, okay? Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do. That's rule number 1. Do you agree?
So then we can eat cake any time of the year.
Yes.
Not just restricted to holidays.
No, of course not. I don't care when you fucking eat your vegetable cake.
All right. So right. So we can still have our vegetable cakes then.
You can, yeah. Do you guys agree that should be rule 0 for our society? Nobody should have to do what they don't want to do.
But doesn't that present us with problems?
We'll have to figure out motivation to get people to do things that need to be done, but we don't want to force them to do it. You know, that's the point. You know what I mean? We'll have to figure out what will motivate them, and maybe some people will be motivated. We'll have to figure that out. We'll come.
Are we forcing people now?
Well, they don't have much of other choice. Yeah.
Well, explain.
Well, okay. Well, can we agree that that's part of our utopia? Or
No, I'm not agreeing. I'm not going to agree to something until I understand it fully.
In other words, we're not going to force anyone to do what they don't have to do, including putting them in. Yeah, we do. We force people to, for example, be put in jails.
Well, that's different though.
Well, I'm just saying we shouldn't have any of that in our society. Some people are forced to do things, by their being.
So we're not going to have some type of no jail system.
We'll figure that out. We'll have to figure that out.
Well, the bad people will be forced to eat vegetable cakes, according to Case.
Nobody is forced to do what they don't want to do. Why is that a controversial rule?
You have broken the law. You must eat this carrot cake.
Is that a controversial rule? Is that a controversial rule?
Zucchini bread. That's another excellent one.
That's another.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Cake, basically. Is that a controversial rule? The fact that no one should have to do what they don't want to do. Is it?
Cornbread. Don't forget cornbread.
Cornbread is good. Yeah.
I'll give you cornbread.
There's a vegetable cake. See, look at that one.
Corn's barely a vegetable.
Oh, barely. Oh, wait. No, he's got rules for this too. Wow.
There is a restructuring of vegetables under my review.
Thank you. Even the viewers have spoken. Force feed them.
All right. Do you agree with that rule or not? Is this a good rule for Utopia that no one is forced to do what they don't want to do? I mean,
Let's put a pin in it and come back to
why
it.
is that a controversial rule? Why?
Well,
Right, it is a controversial. I don't think it should be decided upon the fly
Well, I'm
because
asking
I
you
don't
why.
know if that
Why
would.
is it, what problems
and
could you have with
what's the state of pies in this new utopia?
it? What's the? I told you.
Is it all year round, or is it just for birthdays or holidays?
Clark, why is it? Just tell me what you have against that rule. Like, I don't understand. Why would you have anything against
Because
it?
it's a little deceptive in nature the way you introduced it. Because
Man.
you don't want. Well, when you said we don't want to force people to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's sort of implied that you're referring to let's say the jobs that not everybody likes to do. But when you threw in the little twist with like jails and prisons, now that's a whole other ball of wax. So yeah, I mean, no
Definitely,
criminal.
definitely throughout history and the civilization, all different cultures we've had, and all different systems of government, people definitely have been forced to do things they don't want to do. Right? Only in this modern Western world here that we think we have at least somewhat of a choice. But I mean, even like a couple hundred years ago, you didn't really have much of a choice.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about a forced, like slavery or forced work environment, or you're picking rocks or whatever like that with a pick. I don't mean stuff like that.
I am talking about that. I'm saying we should have none of that in our new society.
None of what? Rock picking?
Being
Okay,
forced to do anything you don't want to do.
Right, but it's still. I mean, what about stuff that people don't want? Nobody wants to go to prison.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to figure out a thing to replace that. If we can't figure it out, then we're not gonna be able to.
But they won't want to do that either.
We'll have to figure out ways to motivate them. To
To go to jail.
No, we don't want to have jails. We don't want to have jails at all. There's no need to have jails.
We want to go to.
So what do you do?
Happy Cake Place.
No, I mean,
serve
what are you
your
talking about
time.
places? I'm saying that we don't have to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. I don't know why that's controversial for Utopia. I don't understand.
I just thought we presented why. I mean, it doesn't.
You saying because you really want jails? You really, really want jails in this new Utopia? Like that's the reason why you don't want to force people. That's why you can't have that rule that you don't.
No, but you're gonna have people that are criminals. You're gonna. It's a given. I mean, just because you have Utopia doesn't mean people are going to stop doing bad things.
For 100,000 years, we've existed without prisons until very recently. Until very, very recently.
Yeah, because we killed people.
All right, well, maybe that's what we'll have to do in this Utopia. I don't know, but we could.
Oh my God!
We didn't just kill people.
Okay, Cases Utopia murders people.
Okay, put a pin in it. Go on to point 2.
Everyone should have enough food to eat. Everyone should have a place to live.
R.E. the cake.
Are those controversial?
They're not controversial, but once again, it kind of does loop around to the first one too, because somebody has to grow the food and somebody has to make the food. I mean,
yeah. Well, people are gonna want to do that. People are doing that now. We have to figure out how to motivate them. That's all.
Who's going to shred the carrots for the cake?
Somebody will step up to do that. Probably. We'll have to figure out how to motivate them to get them to do that.
Who's going to make the pizzas?
Well, I would gladly make the pizza. I'm making it now for very little money. Are those controversial things too?
I didn't say they were controversial. I just said it kind of, somebody's gotta. You can't just make a food free to everybody that that doesn't. What about people that don't contribute? Somebody who just sits around and doesn't do anything.
Because that's not what they want to do.
Yeah, because they don't want to do that. So if they don't want to contribute,
But somebody has to.
Otherwise,
nobody's gonna
exactly. We're gonna have to figure out ways to motivate the people to want to do it.
But I see motivate's a loose term there, because that could be misconstrued as a way of forcing someone too.
Well, we don't want to force them to do anything they don't want to do. That's what I suggested was one of the rules. So we'd have to figure out ways to motivate them that doesn't include forcing them. Forcing is not motivation.
What if I'm growing the food and I don't want to be forced to share the food with other people?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to figure out ways to make it so that if you don't share, you're gonna have negative forces acting upon you. Like maybe you'll lose some social standing.
Being forced.
You might lose some social standing, or
With
You
those
won't
force-
be able to have that carrot cake for those carrots you grew.
or maybe we'll have to give you good incentives for you to share it, so that you maybe other people share things with you that you don't grow, so that you have incentive to share it with other people. I don't know. There's ways to do it. Or you're just left alone. If you don't want to share, you're left alone. You don't have to share. You shouldn't be forced to share. Are you suggesting we should force you to share?
No, it sounded like you were going to force me to share by negative.
That's
Like a negative
essentially what
pressure,
that
meaning
is.
like a negative pressure, meaning like, all right, let's say everyone who shares is allowed to do this social activity. So if you don't share, you're not allowed to do this social activity. You don't have to share, but if you don't, you're not allowed to do this particular activity. Maybe it's an activity that you like. We just have to figure out ways to make it so that you would do the things that maybe you don't want to do because you're going to benefit from in some other way, or if you don't do it, you're going to lose out on something that other people who share do benefit from. We can figure that out later.
I think it's becoming a very complex system already.
Yeah, a lot of bureaucracy.
Settling on the ground rules. I'm just settling on the ground rules. Of course,
Meanwhile,
if we
the
can't
earth
figure
is
this
in
out, if we
flames.
can't figure out a way.
Well, we don't have any firefighters.
Why? People would love to.
Well,
be
we
don't
don't.
know.
We never saved the earth in the first place.
People would love to be firemen. What are you talking about?
Allowed to be firemen. Where's
They would
freedom?
love,
though?
I said love. I said they would be love. People would love to be firemen. Why would that stop?
Okay.
Why would it stop? Because we're not forcing them to. I don't understand.
I was kidding.
What if they wanted to be
Instead of
firemen
flames.
but didn't want to fight fires?
Well, then that's not a fireman. I don't think. Is it?
No, he wants to be a fireman.
They
but
just
he
want to be
doesn't
on the
wanna fight
calendars.
fire.
They just want to get on the calendars.
Just wants to be on the calendars, with the hat and the long coat.
We need that too. I guess we need fireman calendars for the ladies and the gay men. So, in your utopia, Clark, people are forced to do things they don't want to do.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I'm
That's
asking
not what
you.
I said at all.
It's either a yes or no thing. Either then people are not forced to do, or some people are going to be forced to do what they want to do.
No, not. Well, here's a perfect example. Nobody likes to work, but we still have to.
I mean, I loved working for years.
That's you.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
some people
Yeah,
love
but
it. Some people
you
don't
had
love
a nice job. You had a nice job.
it. I love what I was doing. The job sucked. Some people
All right,
like
but
doing stuff. Some
that's
people don't.
you. Everybody's different.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So some people do like working.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Go ahead. Continue.
So why you say some people don't? So they don't have to work if they don't want to. They shouldn't have to work if they don't want to work. If we can't figure out ways to motivate them to work, they shouldn't have to.
Okay.
That's true.
So, but we still have to feed them.
We won't have to feed them. It'll just be they'll get food. Everyone in the society should have enough food to eat. Yeah. Should have no thing about what jobs they do.
So for people that don't contribute in any means measure at all, they don't want to do anything, but they're free to take from the table.
If they don't want to do anything, that means we have not figured out how to motivate them.
So there's that word again, motivate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a matter of motivation. You know what I mean?
I think it's a very complex system you're developing. I'm not sure how I don't even know how you would even begin.
Well, that's a great thing we could discuss, but I just want to lay out the ground rules, you know what I mean? So we can then figure out if we can build a society that covers this, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is let's build this fantasy utopia that you believe is completely out of bounds, and that we'll figure that out. Maybe we'll find out after a couple weeks of doing this, we'll be like, all right, there's no way we can satisfy this rule that no one has to do what they don't want to do. So then we'll modify it, and we'll go, all right, maybe most people don't have to do what they want to do, except in the case of these people. You know, we can figure that out, but let's start with the baseline thing that, the goal is that nobody has to do what they don't want to do. And then it's up to us to figure out how to motivate people to get them to do things they don't want to do instead of forcing them to. So they go, all right, well, I don't want to do this, but if I do it, I'll get this, which I like more than not doing this. So I'll do it.
Meanwhile, while this debate is going on, the villains from the Road Warrior have just swooped in and killed all of us.
Yeah, well, we may need a standing army. That's something that we'll discuss in the future too, That does not operate inside the utopian.
Because we need the juice.
We need to be able to protect ourselves from outside forces. And I'm sure people would step up and love to be in the military too. We don't need to force people to do that. People would love to do that today. I think we restrict people more. I think if we didn't have the restrictions we did, there'd be a much bigger military. But that's something we can talk about in the future. All I'm saying is let's just lay the groundwork. We'll see if we can come up with a utopia that fits it. Just rule zero is nobody has to do what they don't want to do. Maybe we'll find out that we can't. That's unworkable down the road. We'll be like, all right, that rule zero is not workable. There's no way we can work it out. So then we'll
Okay,
change
maybe
it.
I'm just not comfortable with the term rule. Why don't we just use it as a goal? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And why,
yeah.
why do we have to have a utopia? Why can't we have chaos?
We're going to talk about that. I do believe we're going to need to have an element of chaos. We'll talk about that though. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to have to be. I think it's going to have to be things that change. I do. Yeah.
Red flags, Jerry. Red flags.
Fridge.
All right. So instead of rules, let's call it principles. How's principles? Foundation.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a Isaac Asimov novel here. But
What? Well, that's for anyone who's not 70 years old. Can you explain what that means?
no, but I don't know. What do you mean? No, 70 years old. I mean, like, I'm 70 years old or what? Huh?
Well, I mean, Asimov stopped writing at like 74 or something like that.
So we're still familiar with his stuff.
All right, what does it mean? I mean, I've read a lot of Asimov books. I'll give you that. But what is it? What does it mean?
Never mind. Just forget I mentioned it. Okay?
I'm interested. I want to know.
Oh, that's all right. Just move along.
Is you talking about foundation?
Just move along.
Are you bridging out? Are you bridging? All right. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the game segment. Let's do ASMR.
Wait, no, we got to do part 2 of the game.
He's still preparing.
He's just not. Yeah, he's still looking for something. Do you mean to tell me you can't find anything? With the massive resource of the internet.
We always break the segments with the game. Come on, we got to be consistent for our few viewers. They come for this quality entertainment.
Anyone buying chocolate doesn't envision. Forget about it. That was an F word.
Okay, all right. Doesn't envision French gendarmes
What?
in jaunty.
What?
Jaunty.
Pause.
Pause. Go ahead, pick it up with K.
What? Well, I'm still waiting to see. What were the first words? I don't know. I got two different people. You're not even supposed to be playing.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Clark lost this round. Is that fair to say?
I'd say so. Yeah.
All right, I lost. Okay. Moving right along.
All right, that makes me the winner.
Bridge to the next segment. Bridge, please.
ASMR. I like to smoke while this is happening.
Did that give you enough time to prepare?
I'll come back and listen to it later and unzip.
What? He's unzipping.
Silence.
Oh, silence. Okay, all right.
Silence, mortal ones.
I'm going to mute myself.
Do what you must. For today's ASMR segment, we will cover business buzzwords. Number 1, return on investment.
Keep it going for a little while. I'm going to get more whiskey.
Number 2, synergy. Number 3, customer journey. Oh yeah. And number 4 is deep dive. Yeah, get deep in there. Number 5, impact. Number 6, ballpark. Number 7, core competency. Number 8, visibility. Number 9, startup. Number 10, sustainability. Yes. needs a drink to get him through these shows. Very tough shows. He's not here and he can't hear me. I will continue the list and he will know none the wiser. Number 9. Oh no, wait, we did that already. Ooh, number 11. Pain Point. Number 12. Quick Win. Number 13. Hyperlocal. This is a really shitty list. Why did you make me read this? Why? Number 14. Next Generation. Number 15. Holistic. 16. Logistics. Number 17. Alignment. Number 18. Freemium. Number 19. Quota. Stop getting turned on, Case. It's not that interesting. Number 20. Touch point. That one sounds kind of rude. 21. Retargeting. And then 22. Content is king, which it's not in this podcast, that's for damn sure. 23. Big data or data. You decide. 24. Incentivize. Lots of carrot cake for everybody. Oh yeah.
Vegetable cake.
It's good. Believe me, it is. Number 25. Move the needle. That carrot cake moved the needle. Number 26. Unpack. Number 27.
This is a really long list.
I think what's wrong with them?
Number 28. Drill down.
Yeah, I drilled down.
Number 29. Ecosystem. And number 30. Bandwidth. We are wasting your bandwidth with this nonsense.
Can I make an observation?
Sure.
I think that was a total waste of your talent.
Thank you.
All right, let me explain. I sent this to Claudius. Let me explain myself. All right, are you done? Is that the end of the? I think we'll cut it short. You don't have to do the whole list.
You're right.
Short?
We'll cut it long. All right, I saw this article that said that corporate buzzwords had like the opposite effect of ASMR, where it like made people, have like just feelings of revulsion. So I thought it would be interesting to combine ASMR with corporate buzzwords to create like somehow a dual dichotomy of like hot but disgusting at the same time, as hot as Claudius could be, and with his ASMR, which I've unzipped some pants, let's put it that way.
It's working for the audience.
And hoping that the result would be what?
Well, I just wanted to see, I like that dichotomy of like pain and pleasure, So it's great sounding, like they love that ASMR, but at the same time, it's like corporate buzzword.
I hope your listener is paying close attention to this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the listener is, understands where I'm coming from on this one. But I didn't hear it all. I'm going to go back and re-listen to it, and I'm going to enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Especially all the snide remarks that I heard as I put my headphones back on about the list of songs. All right. The VR segment. Oh my God, it's VR.
Oh, I thought you said PR segment. I was like, wow, we have a public relations segment now. I wasn't aware of this.
You need one, that's for sure. Anybody have anything new to add about the VR? You guys got any questions for me? I'm deep into that VR. I can tell a
how do
story
you
or
clean
something
the
if you want.
controllers off?
What?
How do you clean the controllers off?
What was the question again? How do you take the controllers off?
No, how does he clean them off?
Oh, how does he clean them? Oh.
I have not watched VR porn yet. I'll be honest, I haven't. I don't understand it.
Okay. All right.
That's the least honest statement I've ever heard.
I've watched plenty of porn. Don't get me wrong. I just have not watched VR porn. I don't know. It just
Doesn't do it for you.
I don't want to be like right up there. You know what I mean? In the middle of it all. You know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's also easier for women, you know, because there's aiming involved, and when you're wearing the headset, you know what I mean. It's like
there's aiming. Oh God! Oh my goodness! I can't believe you said that.
What are you talking about? There's no aiming for women.
I know. It's just, all right, line it up, little to the left.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you
5 degrees up a little.
Where's the Dixie cup gonna go? You know, it's complicated.
Impact.
I can hit it from here.
And then you're wrong. You're always wrong.
Okay, that was an interesting VR segment.
Content is king.
That's only the very beginning of the VR segment. Yours, you know, Cody's the one that brought up porn.
Yes, I know. He's the one with the disgusting, you know. You took it and ran, though.
Real world problems.
I think next
real world problems. Oh, now these are problems that need to be addressed.
How do you clean the devices? I believe they're gonna one day come up with a simple solution
to clean the devices.
No, to capture, you know, your. So you don't have to aim quite as much. You know what I mean?
Okay, we have this apparatus here
With a reservoir.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No matter where you shoot, it'll pick it up.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What do you want to call this thing? First
Watch this one.
What do you want to call it?
I don't know. Here's one over my head.
Maybe it's a little flying robot. His sole job is to just.
Oh, it's like a little drone that follows you around?
Yeah, he just catches spurts. He just hands underneath it.
Catches spurts. Okay. Wow, this really took a dark turn.
It's a spurt catcher. That's the name of the thing. That's our logo.
It's a spurt catcher. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's
wow, this took a dark turn. It really did. Wow. I never envisioned this. I just.
It all starts with Claudius.
Well, I sent you that video of that game, which I thought was rather interesting.
Yeah, I looked at that.
I'm assuming that's for the John Wick Chronicles. Is that what that's about, or?
I don't even. Yeah, I'm not even. No, it's Alix. It's called Alix or something like that. You know, the trouble with this is it's so weird. Like the games that are in the Oculus right now. I mean, for the VR right now, they're like barely games. You know what I mean? Like if you're a real gamer, like they're not going to be that challenging for you. You know what I mean? Outside of like the board games, you know, there's board games like, you know, Catan and, you know, different things like that. That's always going to be interesting, you know, because you're not, you know, it's confined to that rule set. But like I don't know, just something going on right now. There's a couple games that are out there. Like there's the newest zombie game, Resident Evil or whatever.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them are just like really basic stuff, you know. If you're a hardcore gamer, you're not going to really get a lot out of it yet. It's coming though. I think it's you know, it'll be really good in like a year or so. You know, I don't think people have started making like world class games for them yet. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if any big time studios have really committed huge funds to it yet.
Yeah, I think
because the audience is still small. Yeah. I mean, it's growing, but it's still small.
Yeah.
But
I think once you see it, once they start developing it only for that, like they've been doing some ports, like they're releasing Grand Theft Auto port, which is going to be pretty interesting. You're going to be able to play Grand Theft Auto in virtual reality, you know, so that's going to be weird.
I'm a little concerned about Claudius there.
Why?
He looks heavily involved in something. Usually when he's writing something down or researching something as we're talking, it's not good. I get a little nervous there.
All right, since I won, Chloe won the word contest.
Are we bridging now? Are we bridging to another?
You want to keep talking about? We'll keep talking about VR. All right. What do you want?
No, I just want to know if this was an official bridge because it wasn't announced. Usually it's
Segment three
announced.
of the game.
We'll keep going. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like. So what? My point is, I like the game. I like the gameplay of it, but I think it's just gonna be like if I get it, it's not gonna be satisfying for me, because I played too many of those types of games,
Right.
It's just so like. It seems like right now, you just kind of have to get it in the right general direction. The aiming, you know what I mean?
The aiming.
A lot of aiming involved. Well, we're going to create a device that no matter where you shoot it, it'll catch it.
That's basically what they're doing right now. It's like you just got to shoot
It'll catch.
Well,
the
I have to
trajectory.
admit, when I was watching that video, I mean, there was really no skill involved there at all because, he was whoever play, and I don't know. I see what your point was.
Yeah, I just think I think it's got to make that leap. I think the controllers are still not perfectly, and it's going to be a balance because if it's too, how it is with the mice. Remember how in the beginning the mice you have to adjust their sensitivity and stuff like that. It's going to be a bit of that. I think it could go overboard and be too unplayable. If you have to get it, you have to line things up exactly right. But there has to be a balance there somehow. Somebody has to be better than someone else for it to be an enjoyable
I don't know.
game.
I'm sorry to admit it, but I'm just too old school. I just can't adopt it yet. I don't know.
It's a different game style, for me right now. It's a totally different game. I play poker on there, and that's not that has nothing to do with
Yeah, I got you there. And I have to admit, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I did get quite sick from the demos, but.
Yeah.
It did make
the roller
really...
coaster. That was a mistake. Probably the roller coaster caused people to get sick. They're saying don't show that to people as a first thing.
Apparently, you didn't listen when it came to me, though. Let's force this upon Jamie and see what happens.
I didn't force it. Stop it.
I was sitting on the floor with my head between my knees there, Claudius.
Yeah,
it was very sick.
But you were okay with it, right, Claudius? You played it. I put the thing on there for you.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little rough with the roller coaster one because it'll get to you after a while.
I mean, I think it'd get to you if you were just sitting on a real roller coaster too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So it's not much different. Maybe it's too realistic for anything.
Why you had to have me on there for an hour straight, though? I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one, though.
No.
I mean, I've been on plenty of roller coasters,
I can't do a roller coaster anymore. I can't do one anymore. I haven't done one.
But I never got sick like that. I mean, that was just. I just think that really it messes with your head until you get used to it.
Yeah, I think you're right for sure.
Yeah. And you did have a couple weeks, lead time with it before I even donned it.
And I still don't play that roller coaster. I don't even see any real reason to play it. And most of the games I bought for that thing, I just don't even play.
What ones have failed so far?
Well, there's a game called Demio where it's like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. It's kind of it's turn-based, but you're all standing around. You're standing around. 4 people play at the same time, and you're standing around the board, as though you're looking down at instead of a video game, it's like.
I got you.
What?
I got you. I can visualize what you're saying there. It's almost like you're looking down on a big battlefield plate.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then you move the guys are like little action figure sizes, from your perspective. So you pick it up and you move them, and when you pick it up, it shows you how many spaces you can move, based on the character they are. So there's Archer. Remember that game, Warrior needs food badly. Remember that?
Oh yeah, what was that? Oh, I know.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, Gauntlet. It's a lot like that, but it's much better graphics, obviously. So when you pick up the thing and then but it's also there's also Field of Fog of War. So you can't see what's in the room until you move to the door, and then you can see 5, 10 space ahead or whatever. So you don't know what enemies are there, So it's a little bit of strategy involved, and it goes in order. So as you're playing, so then you walk in, all of a sudden you realize you're in a room with 15 enemies. Then everyone's got to rush over to try and get to you before you die. That's fun, but you need to get people together to play it.
Right.
The AI is just.
But do you think, here's just something I'm going to toss out there. Do you think that it really needs its product that really grabs its reason for existence? In other words, in the 80s, the Mac everybody embraced the Mac because of desktop publishing. Do you think I think VR needs something like that makes it something that it's a must-have.
I think you're right.
Instead of just rehashing games and putting a little bit of a spin on them, when you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I guess it's like a growing stages, right? You know, it's a growth period right now. But I think,
it's interesting to wonder what that would be. You know.
Yeah, I think the business aspect of it might be really interesting if they push forward with that, like having a bunch of people together in a room, like brainstorming, where you could like show your screen right up. You know what I mean? Everyone could be all over the world.
Right.
But you feel like you're in the room, and then you could be like, you could actually like walk up on the stage, be the center of attention, and then when you're done, walk off the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
see, once again though, like I think Microsoft took a crack at that and failed.
What was it? What was it?
Well, that was part of their VR headset too. The whole idea behind that was their big thing. They were pushing like CAD design and stuff like that, so customers could visualize what the architects were seeing. You know, by putting this
right there. Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be just they made the wrong decisions or whatever. But like,
what about the stuff that's worked? Like, remember that Second Life?
Yeah.
People still play that thing. You know,
yeah, I never played it, but I just.
I did. I tried it out for a little while. I just couldn't get into it. But people have been running with that thing now for a long time. You know, and you basically do nothing in it.
Yeah.
It's a social thing.
Yeah.
And there's a big aspect of this is social too. You know, this VR.
Yeah.
Like a very big aspect of it, more so than like like even more so than like the PlayStation network, where you like get in there and you're playing, you're all talking shit to each other, playing games, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you have the avatar, and also they're coming out with this beta thing where you basically create your own house, you create your own like world basically, and you invite people in. And I played around a little bit with that. It's difficult to do right now. You know, it's like very rudimentary stages, so like you can it's basic stuff, but. Yeah, I created this like big house, and I put like a whiteboard in there, and I invited people in, and then each of you can like there's like 10 different colored markers. You can pick up the marker and like draw on the whiteboard. You know what I mean? Together, and you're talking, of course, while you're doing that. And also like there's a thing called big screen where you can like watch movies in it.
I noticed that you use that quite a bit.
I do, yeah. Oh, it comes up on Steam.
Yeah, it comes up on Steam.
Yeah. I go on dates and
no, I think it's cool. I mean,
really
you
cool.
showed it to me.
It feels ultra realistic too when you're doing it. You know, it's nuts. Like you're looking up at the screen. You know, there's like a bunch of different.
Yeah.
And there's like, I didn't realize they added a bunch. There's like maybe 20 different rooms that you can watch it in.
Yeah.
From like just the void where it's pitch black, but all you see, the only thing you can see looming like a giant in front of you is just the movie. You know what I mean? That's all you're seeing. Everything else is black. You look down, it's black. But you're looking around still. So like you can get real close.
That would be pretty cool for nostalgia type stuff too. I mean, like now we're dating ourselves here, but I think of like going to like movie theaters, like remember that, what was that one in Scranton we used to go to, the Dollar Theater, the Ritz, remember that?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could customize the skins and those graphics to look stuff like that. That would really be neat for nostalgia purposes too, to do different things like that.
In fact, there's a drive-in theater in there, you know, where you see.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
The tops of the cars are cut off, so there's no obstructed view of the movies. But you're sitting in, you can sit in the front seat or the back seat. The wheels there, you know what I mean? And when you're in the back seat, you can see the front seat. Like you're looking at the movie, but right below your eye line, you can see like other cars. Or if you like look to your left, you'll see. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool. I that's neat. I like that.
And there's places in there. Like right now, it's only limited to 4 people at a time. They could bring in. But there's places in that. There's places where you could be like for parties where it could be like 30 people. Like 2 people be sitting on the couch, 2 people be standing. You know what I mean? Like they're all, and the thing you can still be playing one thing.
Well, I'm thinking the movies too are probably. There's restrictions that apply to viewing movies and the number of people before you get bumped up, where you have to have special licenses and stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
They're trying to avoid. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like a bar. A bar can only you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think what they're doing is, what I do is I share my computer screen on that monitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like they don't know, they have no control over what I'm playing.
Now I think the neat thing we'll cut this short, but I think the neat thing would be, and you'll be more familiar with this than I am, but if you could develop somehow without Big Brother control there, like Quantum Link, where your private rooms and stuff like that. Which
Yeah,
I don't see why it's not possible because of encryption and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean,
that might.
I guess maybe if they're doing maybe what they're doing now, they're just turning a blind eye. I'm not sure, but I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, let's say there's thousands of rooms. Like, how would they? They'd have to have somebody looking at each one to see what's being played. You know, like I don't think they're doing that right now. Anyway, you know.
No, but I mean, I don't know if you'd actually need a human sensor to do that.
That's
I
a good
mean,
point,
you
though.
know.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
But my point is, it would be neat, you know, like reminiscent of those days where it really was something wasn't available to the public per se, and yet it was,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, figured out, you
That
know.
would
But
be neat. Yeah. It's coming. I'm just saying. Now, this is the very ground floor of it. I feel like, you know what I mean. This is like the very beginning.
is that whiskey you're drinking?
Yeah. But you could be right. You know, lots of things have failed. So I mean, that's possible. But it does seem like they're putting a lot of resources behind this. The whole Meta thing. Meta, I think, is a dumb name, though. Meta's a dumb name.
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with that.
Because meta to me is like the exact opposite. That's like it's like describing the thing rather than being the thing. You know what I mean? It's dumb. Like metagaming is not actually gaming, right? You know?
Right. I know. Yeah, I'm following you. I don't know where they come up with it.
It should be the reality, not like a statement about the reality. You know, maybe that's what they're hoping it will be, though. You know, it's like some like a reality plus rather than its own reality, like a layer on top of reality rather than like a whole separate reality.
I wonder if what's going to happen to augmented reality now. Is it going to blend, or is it just going to go away, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I think it's going to blend. I think it's going to end up being that you don't need like any particular, like you're going to be there in your own space wherever you are. You won't need like a space. Like the thing with the Oculus is you have to like set the boundary of your space. You know?
I remember that. Yeah.
So I think we're going to get to the point where you're just going to know where you are. You're not going to have to do that. You know, just going to use your reality that you're in to sort of define the space for you seamlessly.
Bridge. We're losing Claudius.
Yeah, did you fall asleep again like in the
Get
D&D
the
game one time?
defibrillator. We're losing Claudius.
Again, Byte Club descends.
Oh, here
ever
he goes.
further,
Here he goes. I knew it wasn't over.
going hard.
He was writing this shit down. That's illegal.
I know. I told
That's
you.
cheating.
Didn't I
That's
tell you that?
cheating. That's cheating.
No, I was working it out in my head while you guys were
I
yammering.
see you looking down at something you've written down there. You already lost. Jamie already lost. Clark already
Jamie
lost.
already lost. Okay.
Ah, man.
I won this round. What's the next? Well, all right. I think we'll cut it short. Doesn't need to be a third round because I won that game. It happens sometimes.
That was I once again I really need to check the podcast here because this just seemed out of character for us.
That was too good. Is that what you're saying?
Like and
Well,
subscribe, everyone.
it was
Like
it
and
was a little bit
subscribe.
more serious, other than the buzzword section. But
Wow. Yeah, I think so. But I think that's good, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen,
This is-
how serious could ASMR ever get, though? Really? Do we want it to be serious? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's pretty. I mean, it's serious. Yes, I see what you're saying, but it is such a popular topic.
We don't want to give integral information through ASMR. You know what I mean?
But he's so good at it.
I know, yeah. I know.
Those words just they didn't do him justice. They did not do him justice.
I'm sorry. I just thought it would be interesting to try out that sort of, you know, that dichotomy of like pleasurable and like disgusting. You know, but, all right, it was a failure, but that's how we learn. We try new things. We move on. Next ASMR won't be. I won't.
Listeners, please take note. Please take note, listeners. The experiment that was just conducted.
It failed.
That happens routinely in my life.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, you like it, subscribe.
We're supposed to do that at the beginning of the video, though, aren't we? We've lost the viewers by now.
Well, we have 6.
No, we got an extra one in there this week.
Somebody's logged in twice.
Do you understand the countdown thing now, Claudius? I'm prepared to accept an apology from you for that countdown thing. Go ahead. You may offer it to me. I'm ready to accept it.
From who? I think you need to rewind that because you said Claudius.
Clark. I'm sorry. I mean Clark. Sorry.
No.
You still don't understand the countdown thing?
No, you're not getting an apology.
Because I was going to go through and it just
Hey,
got
once
tired.
you explained it to me, I firmly understand your logic behind the countdown sequence.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay,
All right.
that's the close thing I'll get to an apology. All right, that's fine. Yeah, all right, that's okay. I accept it.
Not sure I agree with it, but yeah, you know.
I accept that I'm not going to get an apology. That's the closest I will come to it. Thank you. Because I was going to go through and extract every time you said the word countdown, but it was just getting way too much, so I just stopped doing it. Because you must have said countdown 100 times in the last podcast.
Well, I was just trying to establish it. Well, you know, make a point, and I think I did. I'm sure that it was remembered by the listener.
Yeah, I think it was. All right. Any apology? I'd like to make an apology myself.
What? You're still not just. No, you're not getting an apology.
I would like to make an apology to Claudius.
Oh, you want
To the
For what?
listeners?
Because I said that Claudius. I thought Claudius was a few podcast episodes ago. I said I thought Claudius was lazy, but I think what I meant was unmotivated. You know, because I said he's a funny guy and he could have done really great things. He's just unmotivated to do that. I don't think he's lazy. You know, I wanted to apologize for that.
Now, Claudius, please make note of this. You may want to download this episode and keep that. Now, I will never get that because I was called the same thing also. I will not get that.
What? You were called lazy?
Yes, by you.
I mean,
And it seems to me as though I had that conversation with a certain individual about unmotivated versus lazy. And now it appears as though they've made this as it's like some type of revelation that came to them in a dream, you know, that he's not lazy. He's just unmotivated.
We're back to
Bridge,
motivation
bridge,
again.
moving right along.
yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Would you like to come out as any Bigfoot information from your
What?
end? Any
What?
Bigfoot-
What did you? I don't even know.
Any Bigfoot revelations?
He wants to
you'd
know
like
if
to
there's
Oh
any
my God.
marathons coming up.
Sound like that guy Bobcat Goldthwait or whatever his name was from the '80s. You know.
make? Oh, that's really good. Anybody else have anything they'd like to take back or apologize for, anything like that?
No, I'm good. I have a clear conscience.
Yeah, of course you do. All sociopaths do.
Oh, look, he just called you a sociopath. I think that's due an apology.
Next week, a new apology.
Next week on Byte Club.
We'll end every session with an apology.
Well, we could if there's necessary. If necessary, we will.
I think we lost our viewer.
It's still 6.
No,
I don't know. I think she walked away. She stopped commenting after a while. She gave up.
Claudius
Hey,
and her just
hey,
exchanging
she hung in there. We got to give her credit. She hung in there as long as she could.
Yeah, where's
there's so much.
where's Lisa? Why is she not listening, Claudia?
She's smart enough to know not to watch this.
You probably didn't even tell her it was on.
No, wait a second. Wait. I'm gonna try and help him out here because I think that she was exposed to us
Whoa, she was? Well,
in
how did I
another
miss that?
project.
Was I drunk?
Just listen to me. She was exposed to us in another project that we did, and I think that one really tipped the scale on, how shall I say this, the level of sanity that she was dealing with us.
You could be right, but I think I'd have to hear that from her. I don't know.
So you want to hear that from her? So you want to guest speaker?
Yeah, I think we should have a guest speaker on. Yeah, hell yeah. You want to do that, Claudius? That's a no. That's a solid no.
Hey, everybody, it's Cyber Monday.
That's like when I tried to do the ASMR segment one segment early. Remember that, Clark? He was like, "What?"
You can't rush ASMR.
Yeah, you want to rush that. Did you? Does she know that you're podcasting? Let's ask that. Let's start with that question. Does she know
No.
you're podcasting? Does Lisa know you're podcasting?
No.
Do you feel that this is something you're shamefully holding from her? Like,
Yes.
Oh, hey, he's being honest.
that's true. I can't fault him for honesty.
Can you blame him? I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
he caught a lot of flack for the other thing we
Well,
did.
let's ask him. Did you catch a lot of flack for the other thing that shall not be named?
I gets an occasional chuckle out of it, yeah.
Occasional chuckle doesn't sound terrible.
At our expense.
I think he was being nice. Occasional chuckle.
Would you
Smooth
say?
jazz it is.
Would you say this is, if she stumbled upon this on her internet outings versus the other thing? Would you say this is more?
She'd really have to search hard, man.
or less embarrassing?
Wow. I would love to know the word she used in the search engine and come up with this.
I'm just saying. Okay, what happens?
3 middle-aged morons.
That's not a bad name. That's not a bad name for the podcast. I gotta say. That's
Next
not a
week,
bad
the
name.
new name of the podcast.
That's not
3
a bad
mm.
name. Yeah,
3 mm. Yep.
That's not a bad name. That's not a bad name.
And successfully dodged the question.
And
Do you
we'll
think
have
it would
to
be
pick,
more
we'll have to
embarrassing for her
pick
to
M
stumble upon
names that
this?
time.
I'd be like, oh my god, that's my my Claudius, or do you think it'd be more embarrassing for her to stumble upon the other thing, having not seen it? And be like,
No.
oh my god, that's my Claudius.
I can't picture anybody ever saying that. Oh my God, that's my Claudius.
Well, his real name ain't much better, according to Rick and Morty.
Oh.
And there's no comment there. I mean, it's all right.
Utter
Fridge. Fridge, not bridge. Fridge.
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 You want to fridge out of this? All right, that's the end of the podcast then. What are we doing? That's it. That's another week in the bag. We made it all the way
Grace.
through.
And just so everybody knows, this podcast was officially 1 hour and 15 minutes. Even though it was 1 hour and 30 minutes with the countdown timer.
Sorry you had to sit through the countdown timer.
Yep. Sorry. Apologize for that.
If you don't want to sit through it, just come on at 7 o'clock. You wanted to sit through a countdown. I don't know why this is so complicated still. All right, this is it. I'm switching back to, so you guys can hear it, switching back to the crappy speakers.
Like and subscribe. Like and
Yeah,
subscribe.
please like and subscribe. All right, here we
I
go.
don't hear
Ready?
anything.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody. Another show in the wraps.
I think we need to work on that.